What is up, everybody? My name is Megan and welcome to my YouTube channel. In my videos, I like to discuss life hacks, personal development tips, and beauty recommendations to hopefully help you become the best version of yourself. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to become the boss of your own life and the actions that you can take to make that happen. Be sure you subscribe down below and hit the post notification bell. That way you can be informed whenever I upload a new video. So becoming the boss of your own life sometimes has a negative connotation with it. For example, I don't want to be in charge of a person, I don't want to be in charge of a group of people, and I don't want the stress that comes from that. Being the boss of your own life is something that's completely different. It's taking responsibility for your past, present, and future actions, and then transforming your goals into reality. First, to become the boss of your own life, you have to understand your why and the reason behind you doing things. This doesn't have to be something as deep as, what's my purpose in life? Why am I here? It can be something as simple as, why do I enjoy my job? Why do I enjoy my hobby? Why don't I enjoy my job? Why do I hang out with that person? If you're understanding your why behind things and the reason behind you doing them, it can really help you understand what you enjoy doing and who you enjoy being with. For example, I really enjoy developing myself personally and then helping other people develop as well. So in college, I joined groups and took on positions that helped me do that. After I graduated, I really didn't understand why did I actually like doing that? And I sat back and thought and understood my why of, oh, I like developing myself personally and I like developing others as well. I transformed that by creating a YouTube channel. I am constantly learning new things and then I can teach them to other people. And it's really given me the same joy as doing those things in college, and I understood my why behind them. So understand your why. Why do you enjoy your job? Why do you enjoy your hobby? And why do you like hanging out with that person? How do they make you feel? If you're understanding your why, it can really help you understand the meaning behind why you do what you do. And the next step in becoming the boss of your own life is putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. And this can be very difficult at times because, again, we like to stay under our security blanket and we don't want to come from underneath it and start something new. But putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, that is where you grow. For example, if you are afraid of public speaking, you cannot public speak to save your life and you feel like you get anxiety whenever you have to speak in front of people. The main way to grow is to just do it. If you have to speak in front of multiple people for a speech in class, don't sit back and wait until you have to be the last person to do it. Your anxiety is just going to build and keep on building. But if you say, hey, I'm going to volunteer to be second or third, you don't have to be first, but if you volunteer to be second or third, and you stand up, you give your speech, and then you sit back and get in your chair and think, wow, that wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. And I kind of nipped that anxiety in the bud by just going on and doing it, putting myself in an uncomfortable situation. And once you start doing that and applying that to other areas of your life and making yourself uncomfortable, obviously in healthy ways, then this can really help you grow and become the boss of your own life. Another element into becoming the boss is always being a student. Always being a student can look different to every single person. You can listen to a podcast on something you want to learn more about. You can watch a YouTube video. You can read books. You can actually take a class and get a degree, a second degree. The more that you know and the more that you continue learning, you'll notice yourself becoming a better and more well-rounded person, and then you can help and pass on that knowledge to other people as well. Another step in becoming the boss of your own life seems pretty simple, but living life for you. Although it seems simple, this can be pretty difficult if you have parents in your ear all the time, if you have a spouse, if you have friends in your ear that have different goals than you and they want you to be exactly like them or do exactly what they do or whatever they want to do. If you understand that you don't have to be like everybody else and you can do your own thing and you can still have relationships with those people, but they also have to understand that you want to live life for you. If you're pursuing that degree that your parents want to pursue, you're going to be miserable, not only in college while you're studying it, but also afterwards whenever you have a job in a field that you don't even want to be in. This is going to be very, very difficult if you constantly have those people in your ear, and they're healthy, stable relationships of people saying that, and they might not understand that's what they're doing, but you have to understand that I'm going to live life for me. If I want to do this hobby, if I want to pursue this career, then do it. You are the only person in your shoes, and you're the only person that's ever going to be in your shoes. So understanding that and then implementing that can be a game changer for you. Another element into becoming the boss of your own life is setting short-term and long-term goals. I talk more about short-term goals, long-term goals, and setting small wins for yourself in my first video. So if you're interested in that, I'll have that link down below where you can learn more about what a small win is and how you can implement those into achieving your goals. A short-term goal is usually a goal that you can accomplish obviously in a short amount of time, less than 6 months usually. And a long-term goal is just a goal that you could accomplish longer than that. So a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. The importance of understanding short-term and long-term goals is that your short-term goals can be steps that you take to accomplish your long-term goals. For an example, I want to pay off my student loans in a year, and a year is a long-term goal. If you sit back and think, oh my gosh, I have to wait a whole year before I'm debt-free, it can be very discouraging. But a short-term goal that I set for myself is that I'm going to create a budget. So I know exactly where every dollar of my money is going toward, and I can put up a savings fund to pay my student loans off in a year. And it really gave me a sense of relief and a sense of control over my life whenever I sat down and knew where my money was going toward. And then it clicked, wow, I can actually save up money to pay off my student loans in a year. If you actually start setting those short-term goals, then you'll start actually taking control of your life and becoming the boss over everything that you do. Next is taking note of who and what you give your time to. It's gonna be a difficult task to take on, especially if you have long-term friendships with people that you suddenly realize, wow, they aren't supporting me in anything that I do. And every time I come home from hanging out with them or after I get off the phone with them, I don't feel better. I feel worse than I did before I talked to them on the phone, before I texted them, before I FaceTimed them, whatever. If that's what you're feeling towards a person, whoever they may be, it's time to sit back and think, should I be giving my time to them? We have 24 hours in a day, and obviously we aren't awake for a portion of those hours. We're eating for another portion of the time. You're working, going to school for another portion of that time. You only have a limited amount of time throughout the day. So are you really willing to give away your time to somebody that doesn't even want to see you succeed? If you really sit back and think and understand, no, I don't want that for myself, then you'll be able to see a significant change in your life if you take that into consideration. Next is understanding what you give your time to. For example, laying in bed on TikTok, watching videos for 2 hours, that is taking up a significant amount of your time that you can be working towards something else or doing something more productive. Obviously, we all do it. We all lay in bed on social media sometimes for longer than we should. But if you start to actually look at the amount of time that you're spending on social media, it will honestly blow your mind, because that is what I did. And I said, wow, I need to spend my time doing something else. Even if it's not something productive, something that gets me away from my phone, looking at Instagram posts and TikToks all day long. If you're understanding who you give your time to and what you give your time to, it can really help you take control of your life and become the boss of your own life. Next is going all in. This can seem pretty scary at first, because whenever you set a goal for yourself, it's hard to determine how much time do I give that for me to really be considered going all in. And that's where time management comes into play. You can have multiple goals. You can have time for your friends, your significant other, and your work and school if you know how to manage your time well. Something that I like to do is I like to schedule out my days, and sometimes I schedule them hour by hour if I really have a lot that I need to get done, and that can seem kind of overwhelming and a lot to some people, but it really helps me understand what I accomplished throughout the day. If I see that I am giving this much time to this goal, this much time to this goal, and another set of time for another goal, and at the end of the day, I can say to myself, I went all in on my goals today, and I took one step closer to becoming the boss of my own life. So really going all in. Don't put half effort towards something. Don't put a quarter effort towards something, because if you really want to accomplish that at the end of the day, it's you that has to accomplish it. You have to put in the work. You have to put in whatever it takes to accomplish that goal. If you're going all in, that goal or that dream will come a reality sooner than you can even anticipate. Next is creating an efficient and aesthetically pleasing environment. This doesn't have to be something fancy. If you like to do your work on your bed, that's fine. Make your bed. Make the environment around you neat. We all know that if we're surrounded by a neat environment, we're going to be more productive. We're going to feel overall better, even if you're not doing anything. If you're sitting on the couch watching TV and your living room is clean, you automatically feel more at ease. Just do something small to help the environment become more tidy. And if you do that, you'll see that you actually want to spend more time in there, and you'll feel more control of your goals and your overall life in general. A huge step into becoming the boss of your own life is setting your own deadlines and your own timers. Something that I realized is if I want to do something for myself, somebody else isn't going to create a deadline for me anymore. I'm an adult. I'm going to have to set deadlines for myself so I can accomplish something by that time. Something that I've started doing is I set timers for myself. I set myself 20-minute timer to complete a task. Once I set that timer, I'm in the zone. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I start typing on the computer. I go for a walk. Whatever task I want to complete, I set it for 20 minutes. After I start doing that, you notice that you're going to start getting in the zone, and the time's going to fly by if you just, again, go all in and set that timer for yourself. You'll start to get a better concept of time, and you'll understand how long it takes you to complete certain tasks. And once you do that, you're gonna see yourself knocking out these tasks and completing these deadlines like it's nothing. Along with the timer, setting those deadlines for yourself. If you tell yourself by the end of this week, I'm going to work out 3 times. Set a deadline for yourself, it was realistic. You're going to be much more likely to work out 3 times that week if you give yourself that deadline of by the end of this week on this day. But if you tell yourself, I'm gonna work out this week, and you don't give yourself the amount of times and you don't give yourself the deadline to do it by, next week's gonna be here before you know it and the goal isn't gonna be accomplished. It's important to understand that it's okay to give yourself deadlines, and it's also okay if you surpass those deadlines sometimes. Just understand that next time, give yourself a little bit more leeway so you know that it's gonna take you longer to complete those deadlines. If you start setting those timers and those deadlines for yourself, you'll start knocking out things like it's nothing. Okay, the last and probably most important aspect of becoming the boss of your own life is understanding your strengths and understanding your weaknesses. Not only that, but focusing on your strengths and not focusing as much on the weaknesses. I know that's difficult sometimes, especially if you want to be the best at everything, but if you're true to yourself and saying, I'm not good at that. For example, I'm not good at drawing. Like, I've never been good at drawing. I'm not a good art person, but I have creative friends and creative family members that love doing that and they're great at it. And I want a new piece of artwork for my wall. I can text or call them and say, hey, are you selling any of your like artwork? Can you make artwork and I can buy it from you? Then you're not only helping yourself because you weren't sitting here focusing on your weakness, but you were actually using your resources and then your other people that are surrounding you to help fill that gap of the weakness that you had. And then instead of focusing on that weakness, you can sit and focus on your strengths. What am I good at and what can I learn more about and that I actually enjoy learning about, and then teaching it to other people if it might be their weakness. So again, you can use your resources for your weaknesses, and then you can be a resource to other people where their weakness is your strength. All right, everybody, those were the aspects on how to become the boss of your own life. Again, being the boss of your own life means taking responsibility for your past, present, future actions, and then transforming your goals into reality. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe down below again and hit the post notification bell so you can be informed when I upload a new video. Comment down below any future video ideas for me. All right, everybody, thank you for watching.